We're back, you guys. We're live and we're here. Guess what? Our guest counselor for tonight. So we have no guests. You're just gonna have the love of me and Al. So we also got something new we want you guys to see and check out. Check this out. All right,
Yeah,
we're back.
hotness.
That is our new opening. That was done by Rick from the DV Films, and also the music was by Invisible Hands, and it's a hot video. So
Yeah,
and
bringing us into the
21st century.
modern day. That's right.
right, instead of that 1970 look we had. But that 1970 look we had is going to be the outro of the show. So it's no longer be a thank you. You guys are going to see the outro of what the original one was.
That's
until
right.
we get something else. You know what I'm saying?
Polishing up this act.
Yeah, trying to make it clean. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
It get better every
And
time.
let's see what else we got to do here. We got to go ahead and thank the sponsors. Let me get all this stuff going here. And
Oh,
there
by
we
the
go.
way, before
Yeah,
we
go
get
ahead.
started, we're gonna talk about it. In Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Oh yeah.
All
Happy
the
Father's
men,
Day,
happy Father's
all
Day.
you MFs, because that's what
Right.
you guys are. You know what I'm saying? So,
In some cases.
yeah, in some case, no, you all are. If you,
Oh,
yeah, if
exactly,
you
yeah.
are a father, you're an MF. You know,
Oh,
it
damn.
is what it is,
Damn.
because that's what it is. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Mhm.
it is what it is. Go to
All right.
Saber, yeah. Go to Saber Team Tactical AWK. Go to saberteamtactical.com and go to the page, the homepage. Then go to classes right here. And I still got to update a class that Al wanted to put out. And we want to explain that before we start.
Yeah, so what I found is I'm listening to people and people calling me, especially new folks. Some of you old guys, maybe you can start talking to these folks and help them out. But they don't want to spend that type of time on the range. Literally, they want to just have an hour, and they thought that 3 hours was a little
Let's
bit.
start from the beginning, Al. It bumped us off for a moment.
Oh,
Yeah, it did. I just caught it.
that's good. So
Mhm.
basically, people that I've spoken to who are interested in firearms training, new people, they balked at the 3 hours. And I brought the price down a little bit. You know, there's some facts.
Let me take this share out so we can have a full screen of us talking.
Yeah, and it was crazy. It was literally
Yeah.
they just said they didn't think they needed 3 hours, and I'm telling them you're brand new to guns.
Isn't that something?
By the time I figure out what you're doing, it'll be already an hour going by. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I can, and mind you, that's coming from me. I'm a comprehensive and holistic trainer.
It-
I want to make sure that when you leave there, you know what you're doing, and I feel good about myself. These folks just want an experience, in my opinion, and I told them that. I said, all you want to do is have somebody say that this is a muzzle pointing that direction, pull the trigger, and I said that's not me. So what I did, you know, the capitalist inside of me broke it down to 2 hours because that's the minimum. I mean, if you're going to classes and you're taking an hour class, you're wasting your time. There's
So for you-
I don't know.
No, I was gonna say for you guys just got in. Hey, P3, how you doing? And happy Father's Day to you. I called everybody MF, so you know what I'm saying, because that's what everybody is. You know.
Every father.
Yeah. So
Many of us still just
and
practicing.
P3, get your calendar schedule because we're bringing you on the show too. And one of these days, these Sundays. So
Yeah, he has a lot to offer too.
yeah, and but what Al was saying, we're gonna get back to the sponsorship thing. What Al was saying, These people, and I'm trying to say this lightly
Use
here.
your eloquent.
Yeah, these people, man, they want to. We run a 3-hour course. I run a 3-hour course. I'll run a 3-hour course, but they're refusing to take a 3-hour course for the 150, whatever we
Yep,
charge.
150.
150. They want to condense it down to 1 hour.
Yep, I can't do 1 hour.
1 hour. It's like this is ignorant.
Mhm.
It's like
and mind you, I looked on the internet, and that's why we're offering a 2-hour class. I looked on there, and there are people offering 1 hour training, and they offer 1 hour training for about $125,
Mhm.
150. I even seen a $200 an hour for 1 hour class. People, there's nothing you can gain in 1 hour.
1 hour
of firearms training.
you load your gun.
Worth
You
175 or more.
Yeah.
I can see 135, depending on where you are. Indoor range, somebody has to pay range fees, things like that. I got you. But when you're starting to pay up to $175 for 1 hour class, there's nobody. And I'm telling you, I know some of the big names. I've been around them taking class. There's nobody worth that much money.
yeah.
Nobody. They're not going to teach you anything within an hour's period of time that is worth that price.
Right. So let's go ahead and thank the sponsor real quick.
Yeah.
Then we get back to that.
Mhm.
And that's we're gonna add a new section in here and add that 1 hour class
Yep.
for the same freaking price.
Yep.
You know
And
what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, the 150 is the better deal. But if you want to pay the price that we'll set for the one-on-one 1 hour training, come on, I will work with you the best I can for that.
And you know what? I will have a timer going too.
Exactly. Oh,
And 10 minutes prior to when that 1 hour is over with, it'll beep me like, hey, it's time to wrap up. You know what I'm saying? If you want another hour, you need to pay another $150.
Yep.
I'm serious.
That's it. It's weird, but at the same time, that's what the people want.
Mm-hmm. So
Can't keep shoveling squares into circles.
right. So you give them what they want. If they want to do that, they can do that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
And I've done it. I've done it already. I've had people who said, "Can you do anything less than that?" Like, no, the price is firm. No, I mean the time.
mhm.
And it shook me when she said that the time it was too much time for her. And I
Right.
said, "You ever taken training before?" No. You do realize it's going to be really tight to squeeze in everything that I. Okay, yeah, we can work it out.
Yeah, we can work it out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Is it fun?
one-on-one training is just that. The way we run it, we both have very similar. We run an analysis, basically. Run a couple drills to see where you are as far as your gun handling and your marksmanship skills, and then we move from there. We just move
Because we don't want you to leave the range where you can't shoot and don't feel satisfied.
Right.
Because you do, then that reflects on the instructor.
Mhm.
So
and there's a part of that has satisfaction that we have to have. That
Right.
we have given imparted information to you that you feel comfortable, and now we can see if you're comfortable or not. We know who you can look at somebody and tell if they can shoot or not. We
right.
do it all the time. We watch the guys on
Yeah.
videos, and it's like, yeah, he's not a real shooter.
Yeah. And it's stupid, man. So go ahead. The
that's what it
class is out, and I'm gonna go ahead and
So we
check
the,
some
the
things out.
basic fire and any of the classes that you see the titles for, with a small group, we can do that. We have curriculums for all of them. We have a class coming up. Yours is what, July coming up, right? The first one?
Yeah. Let me scroll down. Yeah, July 22nd.
Yep, July 22nd, and that's a good class. The rifle from PCC. Also, we have Stop the Bleed, and we will work through all of that. And then the coup d'etat at the end of it was in November. It's only 6 people, and I have 2 guys that I'm working with right now that are going to be candidates. The first 2 candidates for that. We've been getting in some good work. We had another class on Friday, and we have a couple more scheduled. And I'm telling you, it's working out really well.
Yeah, I can teach that class with a minimum of 2 because I throw myself in as one of the battle dummies, and but I do a max of 3. Don't go any farther than that. I mean, max is 6. Max is
Right.
6.
I was gonna say, you changed it?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sitting here checking. So, I'm working in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, go ahead, Al.
That's it.
Oh, okay. We are live on Twitch, D Live, Rumble, and YouTube. Just to let you guys know. So, like the channels, like and share, and post, and let everybody know we're out here. Let you guys know again, our guest for tonight has canceled last minute, both of them, and so we're just gonna give you guys updates on some gun control bills, some things that's trying to go off, and what else, Al? Talk to
No,
me.
we're gonna talk about Second Amendment and how right now we a majority of the Second Amendment community rejoice in constitutional carry. We got a lot of idiots out there.
Right. So let me go ahead and change this.
A lot of idiots, and we not only do you need to have the tactical and marksmanship training, but you have to have legal training. You have to understand when when you can use a firearm.
And there's plenty of legal classes in the state of Georgia you can take.
Yes.
Every gun ranges usually have them once every 2 or 3 months, every quarter.
Hell, you can get this off. Most of your government websites will tell you.
Yeah.
You can go and look up the courts and look up the laws of the state, laws of the county, laws of the town, laws of the city.
And we're going to talk about something else to that too. Also, too, Saber Team Tactical Laser Engraving, do tags, all this other good stuff. I'm going through it quickly because I want to cover some stuff. And shoot me an email if you guys are interested. And that's that. So I got a lot going on here, guys, and just a little perturbed about what's going on. So we also pushed a new opening tonight, and if you guys didn't catch it, go back and rewatch the episode, and you see the new opening. And it's actually pretty neat. It was done by Rick from DVID TV, and the music by Invisible Hands. So so let's go back to this training thing. These people, man, they want this stuff to be brought down to 1 hour training.
Right, and that's almost what we're dealing with in society. Everybody wants something fast and quick. They don't want the longevity. They don't want to mature through it. They don't want to be nurtured through it. They want to be rushed through, almost like fast food. You see a line and you want it quickly. You want satisfaction quickly. But the firearms, and everyone who watches this should understand that there's no quick fix in firearms. No quick fix. And that's why we're seeing what we're seeing on the street. You got uses of firearms, man, and it's, mind you, I cannot say that this is based upon new people coming into firearms, but if you look at the previous years prior to constitutional carry, prior to 2020, say in that area, look at those numbers. We had similar, but not the same at the same rate. It's unreal. I mean, last weekend here in Georgia, you had a what's this weekend? Father's Day weekend was that too. See, I don't want to blame it on them.
Oh, I'm blaming it because they already had some shootings in several areas, and they still having shootings here in Georgia. There's shootings all over Atlanta going on because of June parties. So it's gonna be more people getting killed. Juneteenth, you get a little liquor in them, got them guns on them.
Yeah, and it's
you stepped on my shoe.
People out there.
You stepped on my shoe, dude.
Yeah, unfortunately, you probably reenacting it.
You're right.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, it's a huge problem. And but we got 27 states that have constitutional carry. If you look and see what just happened is Governor, what's that dude's name out of California?
Everybody, the enemy.
The governor out of California. I can't think of his name.
The enemy.
And
the enemy.
Yeah, the enemy. He introduced a bill that's supposed to be nationwide he's trying to enact the 28th Amendment. If he enacts that 28th Amendment, now let me tell you, I'm gonna give you a little background why it won't work. So, but if he enact the 28th Amendment, What it
Newsom.
does, yeah, Gruesome Newsom. And if you enact the 28th Amendment, what happens is it takes the Second Amendment and dissolves it. So all guns will be confiscated, turned in, or bought back by some gift cards or something like that. And but you got to turn them in.
And I'm going to correct you just now because it's the same thing I did. You can't buy back something you never
I know,
Mm.
I know. You don't
Just want to
own.
make sure.
Yeah, you don't own.
We fall into these things sometimes,
Mhm.
and we get.
Well,
in
they're
line
gonna
and
give you
fall ahead in front of
an
it.
Amazon gift card for $50 as an incentive. That it was said like that. And so, however, you need 27 states in the United States to push a 28th Amendment. We have 27 states now in the United States that have constitutional carry. So I don't see it passing. It won't even get far. So I think what he's doing, he's pushing this bill to say he's doing something for the nation. And the next thing you know, he's going to run for president in the probably in the next this year, at the end of this year. You know what I'm saying? And he thinks he has a pretty good chance of running for president because they think that the liberals that there's more liberals in the United States than it is conservatives or libertarians or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But they think
He
they're
could
ruling
gain
this.
enough votes to achieve his goal.
How did he gain enough votes?
No, I said he can. That's what you're saying.
He's
'Cause we don't
thinking he
know
can.
how many
He-
people actually vote for him. As
You
you
know,
always
we
say,
don't.
rhinos. There's
Right.
people who may be in the middle that decide to vote for him because a lot of times people get mixed up when you hear this term gun violence and they want to be a part of the cure, and it's not the gun is not the thing that needs to be cured.
No,
It's the people.
what you said is true. But a lot of these people don't realize the cure is for them to get on their phone, call 911 for more guns to come put down the gun.
Mm-hmm.
So the cure is the gun. You know what I'm saying? The cure is violence. Is if you introduce violence into society, the only way to stop violence is by bringing more violence to put it down.
Sounds
And
like
that's
the
how
American way.
that is the American way. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. And but it's very amazing. Now I was listening to a podcast on my way home this morning, and I was listening to it's a guy who's an ex-Navy SEAL, and he's also worked for the CIA. And he said, and this what puzzled me when he said this. He said police departments do not want those guys to work for those departments because they think those guys are highly unstable, and two, it's an ego trip with most departments because most of these guys will come in there and tell them that their active shooter program is crap and they will dismantle it and start from scratch. And even the SWAT teams don't want them. Everybody knows the SWAT team's the biggest egotistical guys out there. They got a personality that's like no tomorrow. I've seen
But
SWAT
most of your
teams,
better SWAT people come from the military.
some, not all.
Nope, I'm telling you, most of them. Because think about this. We spoke about this briefly in the past.
I'm talking about special operations guys. I'm talking about the apex of
Yeah,
the pendulum. I ain't talking about cooks and
Nope, I'm not. No.
Okay.
No. You got to know how to shoot. When you start to advance in most agencies, especially see, I come from a large agency, so it's kind of hard. But I've learned how small agencies work. So in my area where I live now, there are three jurisdictions that combine to make SWAT teams. So they have three different SWAT teams, but they're
How many of those guys on those SWAT teams are special operations? Because I know a bunch of
former military special operations.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
I mean, I'm
don't
talking
know.
about Navy SEALs. I'm talking about special
I'm
Delta
telling you that
Force.
I
I'm talking
agree.
about
Listen to me.
SF.
Listen to
I'm
me.
talking about Ranger battalions.
I agree that they don't want them, but I'm telling you at the same time, the better, listen to me, I'm going to say it slow, the better SWAT members are your military guys.
Oh,
Your
yes.
Former military guys.
Right.
The better SWAT, and that's what I'm saying. But most police agencies, the chiefs, the commanders,
Are not.
They don't want special forces guys. And basically what that guy said, I can agree with. it's not that they would just gut the active shooter; they will gut a lot of the tactics that civilian police officers use. There are a lot of guys that I knew that had more experience than the person that was in charge. Right? The better people who were in charge would bring those guys in and incorporate and try to push as much as they can. But then, as you were talking about, you'd have an egotistical commander who would knock all that down because he wants it done
Mm-hmm.
this way, or he'll
Right.
find some punk in California pushing some crap, and then he'll say, "Well, we're going to follow the lead of this." And now these
Mm-hmm.
guys who are military in their mind are beholden to this commander and follow along because they're good guys. They're following their orders. And now they're in a trumped up situation, and then people blaming it on them when they're the actual, they're the
Guys
tip
on the
of the
ground.
spear. They're the tip of the
Right.
spear, right? They're
Yeah,
the
the
guys
guys
that
on
are
the
actually
ground.
out there. So
Right.
now when people complain about it and they look at it, it's these guys. But in actuality, there was some pencil neck geek who was sitting in the background who signed off on that order. Follow me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why I can agree with what you with the podcast guy in reference to them not wanting them because they do feel that they're not only egotistical but they're at risk. That what I always heard was um, they don't know how to diffuse from being in the military to civilian life, which
But
is
that's
not
not
true.
true.
That's not true.
Yeah,
It's not just
it's
true.
not true. These guys are the biggest. I mean, you looking at those special. I'm only talking about special forces, Navy SEALs, and
Hmm.
Delta Force Elite. So we put four of them in there. These guys, they know how to identify a target quickly. They know how to neutralize a target. They know when not to shoot. So those are the best guys you ever want to hire to be on those police forces and those SWAT teams. They won't do anything risky that doesn't need. They won't take a life if it doesn't need to be taken. You know what I'm
Right, but
saying?
you have to also factor in the ego of the person who's never done anything. Most of your commanders weren't the guys running the streets. They're the guys that hanging back taking the test. They're the guys that study when they're supposed to be handling their own beat. Those
Right,
guys are the ones that rise to the top.
right. Because I
Most of your
know.
most of your good troops on the street wind up either being street troops for the next 15, 20 years, or somewhere around the last 5 or 6 years of their career, they start to
Push to the
move up in
desk.
rank, and by that
Right.
time they're burnt out anyway. They're just doing it for the money,
Hmm. Yeah, but I've noticed a
ready for
lot,
retirement.
especially here in this Georgia. A lot
Hmm.
of the SWAT teams out here, they all call themselves special operations,
Yeah,
and
almost across the nation they do.
yeah, and they have scrolls just like the elite units have them. And
Hmm.
I was like, really? And you look at
Yeah.
their gear, and these guys only their magazine load is 4 magazines for the AR, and
Hmm.
at least 6 magazines for the pistols. And I'm like, if you guys really went up against a real foe, you gonna run out of ammunition. You're gonna
Hmm.
lose this fight. You know what I'm saying? But
Potentially, but you
yeah,
got to also understand that the civilian mindset versus um, military, and that's what a lot of these guys get at. That's why you don't see enough military guys being in command positions in law enforcement.
yeah,
There's a big block, and I'm telling you that what you just said it rings home. It does. I've seen
hmm
that. I've seen
right,
that.
yeah. Because I know several guys in SWAT teams, and they're like, man, we need some heavy duty training.
Hmm.
They train. They can breach houses and all this other stuff. But if a guy really knows how to fight inside of a house, they can be annihilated real quick. Uh,
Hmm.
we had an incident that happened. Well, it was about 3 or 4 years ago, and they were called to a. I think it was a couple. I don't think it was SWAT teams, but it was a couple of police officers. When it was the guy was a veteran, he came out with an AK and wasted both of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, through the
And
house. He didn't
yeah,
even wait for him to get through the door.
no,
Right.
no. So it's like,
I mean, the bad part and the tricky part about being a police officer is that somebody who studies your movements can easily, as you said, annihilate them, right?
right.
And
We
that's
saw this in
because,
California.
well, that's because
Remember-
it's. I'm trying to find good words and positive, but they're drones. They do the same thing. They respond the same way every time. Whether
Right.
you're on a traffic stop or approaching a house, you can just look and you can see. You know, I've done it forever, and I know. And officers try to change a little bit. They'll maybe come on this side, not come, but you know they're coming from behind. You know, one way or
Mm-hmm.
the other. Whether they're
They're
coming
gonna
from
touch the
the
car, leave
driver's
the
side of the door, they're going
DNA.
to touch the
Yeah.
trunk,
Yeah.
push it down, and at that point, you know exactly where they are. So there's
Right.
certain things that they just have to do, and the training for law enforcement is terrible. It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Not only is it outdated, but it's the first budget item that gets cut when they
Mm-hmm.
have to cut budgets.
Look,
Because
look what's
because
happening here in Georgia. They
well,
tried to shut down the training facility.
well, that's civilians. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, I know, but the
Whole
city
nother
voted
story.
it in. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you see what happened. The city continued forward, even though they had such a big protest. But what happens in the budget cutting is that um, the government doesn't require officers to be trained. They require officers to be certified. And it's a
To
big
know the
difference.
law, and
It's a big
some of them don't
difference.
even know that.
It's not even
Yeah.
to know the law. It's just to be certified. When you have a firearm and you have a 75 or 80% mark that you have to get, you don't have to be an overachiever and get 100 or shoot a 90 or shoot a 95. You shoot 70 and you just as good as me. If I shot
No,
a
it's just
100, this guy over here shot a 75. We're both qualified. There's no delineation between the two of us.
yeah. I know what you're talking about because the military does the same thing. You have to go to the range, but you don't have to be shoot expert. You
Nope.
can shoot marksman and still be qualified.
Right. That's
You know
my
what I'm
point.
saying?
So
Right.
you're qualified or certified, not even qualified. You're certified, but you're not trained.
Right.
Most police officers across the nation will be trained for 40 hours when they come out of the academy in firearms, and they'll never get any more training the rest
Unless
of
they
their
do it
career,
on their own.
unless they do it on their own.
And when
That's
the
the
guys
average across the nation.
and when police officers do it on their own, I know a police officer current now, he gets made fun of by his own department and his leadership
Oh
for
yeah.
taking advanced courses
hmm
and carrying multiple guns.
Yep.
You
I
know
was
what I'm
called
saying?
Tackleberry for a long time because
Yeah.
I was interested in firearms.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's the deal that I guess the stigma. And
Right.
bad guys
P3
train
said
too. Absolutely.
bad guys train too. Yeah.
Absolutely. And they
Yep.
do. And the thing is, bad guys, and it's another one for me, a little pet peeve, but you hear guys say that they're
What's
training and then they're actually just at the range.
what? Go shoot. Oh,
Got to shoot at 80.
got to shoot at 80.
Yeah.
Who got
That's
to shoot at 80?
80%, 80%
Oh, 80%.
qualification.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Right.
that's what the police spot. Yeah, I keep forgetting P3 was one of the man too.
He got both of us covered.
Yeah. Military in demand.
hmm Exactly. And that
Right.
same thing, you just got to get an 80. And most agencies, I don't know, I think Georgia has an 80% qualification, or is it just some agencies? If anybody knows the exact number,
Yeah,
just throw it
P3.
out.
Did you work in Georgia as a police officer, or was it another state? So come back with that. And yeah, it is a mess, man. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't know, bro. But we have a training facility in Georgia that's going to be one of the largest training facilities probably in this whole state.
It definitely
All the
in the state and probably on the
yeah,
East Coast.
all the agencies are going to use this facility, and you got every single BLM person that's out here coming from out of state is out here trying to shut this facility down. But this facility is a must needed for all the agencies out here because they're going to do house clearing for all the agencies. They're going to do advanced tactics on taking down active shooters. They're going to do some outdoor work, and it's going to concentrate not just the law, but it's going to concentrate on a lot of tactics and stuff that they need to do.
Mhm.
And so they're going to be a lot more trained.
And
If
for
you guys
fire
don't,
department, it's a multi-purpose.
oh,
Not
it's
just
fire
law
department
enforcement,
too.
not just police. That's why when they called it Cop City or whatever they called it, it was really multi-pronged.
Multi-purpose center.
Yeah, it's EMS, fire, and police.
So they all going to work together in
Mhm.
doing the
It's gonna be
active shooter.
separate. Nope, it's gonna be separate.
Yeah.
But like active shooter or a disaster is all three have to work together. So those, but you don't get to train like that. Every blue moon, and I've in 25-year career, I think I did it twice.
Right.
where all the agencies, the EMS, fire, and police come together to work out like bridges going down or
Right.
sinkhole in a road somewhere that
Right.
opens up, things like that. You don't get to do that on a regular basis, and then
Right.
at a training center facility like that, you can.
Yeah, here we go. Yes, he was a training manager for 10 years. All right, cool. And you were also on the SWAT team too, right? Am I mistaken? So that's why we got to get you on the show, man. And I didn't know it was going to be a multi-level training center. And see, like what the military does is they train as a company. No, they train as a platoon. They train as a company. Then they train as a battalion. Then it's a um, then all the battalions train together. Then they go out and do a what they call a big FTX, and they'll bring in all the forces. You got field artillery, you'll have the medevacs, you'll have the fast movers, helicopters, and all this stuff come in. Then everybody will work as a collective. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But that happens once a year after everybody gets those little bit of training, those little training modules to get up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the way it's done in a lot of agencies, police agencies across America. It's the same way. They do modules and then they bring it all together at one time to bring it all to, and that's like the like say if you're doing finals, that would be your final test.
Right.
I'm trying to get this thing to send to you.
Oh, you got something?
Yeah, there's one in the state of Georgia right now, what made me laugh about this, and then I just remembered. It's called the Guardian Centers, and it's down in not Brunswick, Warner Robins area.
Okay.
And it another business that I had, we used this facility for an event, and it just dawned on me. But they're not in the city, and they're out out in the country, so
Right.
they didn't get all that hubbub. And it's a private organization as well that runs
Right.
it.
Right.
So here, I'm gonna send it to you so you can take a look at it. But the Guardian Center, and that's what they're gonna do in Atlanta.
Right.
It's needed.
Okay.
It's
Right.
definitely needed.
Right. Okay. Oh wow. DOD
we
war.
rented that place out. Was it 3 days that we used it?
Yeah, hazmat, technical issue, DOD, medical rescue, and law enforcement. Oh, this is and seeing a lot of these guys. I know some of these guys they get their training from a lot of special forces guys. Train the a lot of the local agencies on a lot of those tactics and stuff and what to do. Because some of these guys just can't come up with this stuff on their own. They have
but you
to.
know what happened? Ruby Ridge happened. Ruby Ridge and the other one. What's my man?
Waco.
Yeah, Waco. Those two happened, and those snipers were trained by military, and they had different.
And they borrowed some Bradleys from Fort Hood, and Special Forces. Special Forces was on the ground.
At that point, I remember that there was a big disconnect because they blamed it on the fact that these guys had sniper training, which had nothing to do with the end results.
Yeah. So, but you don't need to be military to be sniper. I met some Secret Service snipers, and neither one of them had military backgrounds. They were both civilians, and they were shooting at targets 800 and above. So yeah, a shooter's a shooter. It's just you don't have to be military trained to go out there and crawl in the mud and all that stuff for that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So let you guys know we're on YouTube, we're on Rumble, we're on Twitch, we're on DLive. Like us and share us on those platforms. Well, only on YouTube and Rumble. All the other platforms, let them go. And I just like saying that because this, it looks like a lot of places we're at. You know what I'm saying? But thank you guys for supporting us. We're not into the show. We just wanted to say you guys just thank you. We have a new opening on the show. If you guys go back and watch the original the beginning of the show. We got a new opening. The old opening will air at the end. And let's see what else. We got some things coming up too here in the future. We're going to be doing some stuff with. I'm trying to find my sheet. My sheet. I am going over tomorrow. If you guys are watching, Range Guns and Safe, and I'm going over there tomorrow. Give out some patches, and we're gonna be doing a show with those guys like we did with the Vault. And so we can make that announcement now because it's already been approved. So that'll probably be
Which location?
Oh, that's going to be the northern location. We're going to be doing the one off of Perimeter. I think it's Perimeter Road, something like that. Not Perimeter. This is the northern location, not the southern location. So we're going to be doing that, and we're going to be doing it like the Vault. So I'm going over to do a recon tomorrow and see about writing the outline on how we're going to do the show. And we'll probably be filming that in July, somewhere in there, one of those weekends. Also, too, we're going to be, what was the other date? August? Was it July 19th? Yeah, July 19th. We're going to be back at the Vault. They're having a 1 year anniversary and show. And so they're going to have vendors and food trucks and all kinds of stuff out there. We're going to be out there shooting and interviewing customers and stuff, and possibly doing
the
it.
First one is Pleasantdale Road.
Yeah, Pleasantdale Road. Okay, yeah, Pleasantdale Road. Thanks for looking that up. Yep. And that's where I'm going tomorrow. And also, too, 29th of August, I'm going up to Rome to shoot with OSS and hang out with him. He has a big shindig up there.
Libertarian shoot is what it's called.
Yeah. So they talking no politics and none of that crap. It's just come up there and shoot some guns and have some fun. And so going up there, hang out with him. I'm taking him a plaque. A Special Forces emblem plaque once I make it and take it up there to him, and so he can post that on his wall. And let's get back to the show. Let you guys know, you guys are wondering where our guest canceled tonight, so we have no guests. It's me and Al and our ugly mugs sitting here trying to entertain you guys. And speak for yourself, huh? So one thing Al didn't mention, it is Father's Day, and I've noticed at our local gun shops, I received a phone call today that a lot of people are coming in buying guns for their fathers. You know what I'm saying? And ammunition, and they're buying them at the local gun shops. I do tell people, if it's your first time buying a gun, go to a local gun shop and buy your gun. But if you are, this is not your first time buying a gun, go to the pawn shops and see about picking something up right now, because you can save a lot of money on a used firearm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they work just as well as a brand new one. And if you buy a Glock firearm, since we got Glock right here in Georgia, right here in Smyrna, you're gonna make an appointment, take your firearm down there, have them, they'll check it out for free. If your magazines are bad, they can give you new magazines, all for free. You don't have to pay anything, and they'll make sure your gun is operational. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if you're not sure, you know what I'm saying?
Glock, how much more can you do to it?
How much more? Well, somebody can mess up the firing pin.
I mean, yeah,
somebody can mess up the firing pin or something like that. You know.
The thing that I thought you was going to touch on just now is that you can find steals, not only steals, but they're trade-in guns that out there that I see on a regular basis that look brand new.
You're talking about the police trade-ins?
Police trade-ins, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The police trade-ins are some good deals.
That's a good deal.
Oh, my God. There are some.
Think about it. The agencies buy more than they need, because if an officer's involved in a shooting, they have to replace the gun, as this gun is going through an investigation, and it may be potentially a trial. So they have new guns. Those when they switch them out, all those guns go. They don't hold on to the new ones. They trade them all back in. And there's some opportunities to actually come across a brand new gun that's never been fired.
Okay. That's right. I forgot about. Thank you, WK. Taurus and Daniel Defense is here in Georgia too. So if you buy a Daniel Defense or a Taurus, take it over there to them.
Bainbridge.
Yeah, and take it. Drive down and make an appointment. Drive down there and have them to check your guns out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you buy them from the pawn shop and they look a little rusty, or you notice something is broke on it or something like that, and if you do notice something broken on the gun, and they want $300, $400, and you look at it and say, "Hey, man, this thing is broke," take some money off and say, "Hey, I got some cash. This is what I'm gonna give you because I gotta have this thing fixed." Don't give them the opportunity that most of these guns got lifetime warranties on them. Don't even tell them that.
You need to start doing a service where you people can pay you to go to the store and talk for them because you're full of it. You're full of it. That what you just said. Take some money off, and this is what I'm going to give you. They need a big brother like you.
Man, you got to bargain when you go into these pawn shops, bro. Yeah.
See, the thing is, most people are not willing to leave, or not ready to leave, and that's what. That's
man,
how you have to pay attention,
dude. Let me tell you what happened to me, guys. I went into a pawn shop. I had about. Now you gotta have some cash in your pocket. You can't go in there with half stepping with a debit card. You gotta have cash. Mm-hmm. I went in with $600 with cash in my pocket. They had an AR pistol and a Yugoslavian AK sitting up there, and it had a folding stock on it. Hardly ever been fired. I wanted the AK. Okay, now he wanted $600 and something for both of them. So, and I was like, it's not happening. You know what I'm saying? I said, I pointed to the AR and I said, I'll give you a couple $100 for the AR. You know what I'm saying? And I said, you throw that other gun in, that AK, I give you $400 and something. You know what I'm saying? I think we ended up selling for $450. Mm-hmm. And I got both guns for $450. I didn't even want the AR. I wanted the AK.
Right.
That was the whole deal.
Because I knew what that's why you need to have Al's gun buying service.
Right. Because I knew what the AK was worth.
Right.
He had no idea what he had sitting up in there.
And they probably had an idea, but he don't care.
Yeah.
A lot of that, when you talk to them, like if Omar comes along, you can ask them, they don't care because they want it gone.
But check this out.
It does them nothing.
This is what I did. Mm-hmm. I took Chris $100 bills, put them on the table. Boom, boom, boom. I put $500 on the table and I said, "You're gonna give me some change, right?" And he looked at the money, he looked at the guns. He said, "I can't do it, man." Right. I said, "All right." I put my money up and turned around, walked out, and I'm thinking to myself, he's gonna say something before I get to that. As soon as I go, hey, stop. And I was like, okay. He said, "You can have them, man." You know what I'm saying? Went right back down.
It's not the only thing that he's selling. That's the thing. And a lot of people don't realize, especially pawn shops that are not, totally dedicated just to selling guns, they're not interested in it. Their volume. They want to get rid of it. They want it to get out. And yeah, they want to try to make money. But at the same time, he started thinking, I'm sure, I got this for $125. And now it's almost double.
Right. Because he probably loaned $50 off of it. Yeah.
Sure. He probably, he's getting a better deal. No matter what, he probably only got $120, maybe $200 in both guns.
And I did the same thing to when I got my Sega. What was it? I think it was the Sega AK. It came in at Georgia Firing Line. Some dude had sold about 12 guns. I guess he needs some money. So it was sitting in behind the counter. You know where the rifles are at over there? Right. It was sitting behind the counter, just sitting there. I was like, I looked. I had about almost $1,000 in my pocket. I don't know what I had the money in my pocket for. I had it in my pocket.
Soon changed.
Yeah, right. So, and I looked, and I was like, no, this can't be what I'm looking at. I said, "Can I see that gun right there?" And so I picked it up, looked at it, man, this thing was clean. I said, I give you $600 for it right now. You know what I'm saying? I started counting the money out. And them dudes like, what What? It's not even in the books yet. We haven't even logged it in.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, I don't care. I give you $600 right now. I'm walking out with it. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, oh, let me go talk to the owner. He's in here. So he went and talked. He said, they said $650. I know $625. And I ended up getting it for $625. Walked out the door with it. It wasn't even logged in their system yet.
And that's back to what you said. People need to go stop by, check your local pawn shops, your gun stores, and just go in and see what they're trying to move. You know,
right?
Unless it's a Kel-Tec or a High Point, leave it there. Anything else, you're looking at gems. You know, and as WK says here, let me see it.
Yeah,
I got you. You got it.
Yeah.
The market is now flooded with used new guns that newbies are selling because they think times have cooled down. Yeah, and you know another thing on the flip side of that, there are people who are actually turning them in because they don't want to be a part of the problem. I said, you're not part of the problem if you don't shoot nobody.
Right.
Who you shoot? And I don't want to be a part of. And he was staunch too. Like, I don't want to be a part of the problem, so I turned. I'm selling my gun. Who'd you shoot?
Right.
He was like, what? I said, who'd you shoot? Like, you pointing the gun at somebody you shouldn't point the gun
at? Right.
What the hell are you talking about?
Right. How you're part of the problem. And
they've gotten people to believe that.
Yeah,
so now,
believing it.
Your house gets broken into and you're home.
Right.
What are you gonna do? Sharpen a stick?
No, they're gonna be saying, I wish I had that firearm that I sold.
The one that was in the box in the back of the closet.
And you're gonna have this old dude screaming like a girl because they're about to kill him. You know what I'm saying?
And these young dudes are coming in, man, and they are not playing.
No.
In the old days, they could tie you up. These dudes ain't coming.
They don't even do that. They shoot you.
Nope. They shoot you.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, like, televisions have become disposable, so have people. In robberies, people used to tie people up, put them in the basement, lock the door.
No, they ain't doing that no more. No, they shooting.
Yep.
They're taking you out.
Yep. And if you don't have the mindset right now, we always talk about this. We got a myriad of topics, but at the same time, we always come back. The bottom line is your mindset. You have to be ready for when things like this happen. And if it happens to you, unfortunately, you have to go berserk because there's no coming back. There's no negotiating.
I was watching the video, and Brazil is a horrible place. Guy was in the it's like a social club, and he had a gold chain on, thick. So the robber, you can see the robber come in. Specifically, was going after that gold chain. Had a gun in his hand, grabbed at the gold chain, told the dude to take it off. The dude fought him, and the robber backed up, and he shot in the air first. Then the guy didn't give it up still, so he just let go of it and shot the dude straight in the chest and walked off.
Damn.
You know. So it's like,
did I send you that one? The here in the States talking about how bad Brazil is. The dude was in the car. It seemed like they knew each other.
Yeah, money.
He had a car, and they were taking a car from him, and then they took whatever was in his pockets, and no fight or anything.
Oh yeah. They shot him.
And just blazed it in.
They shot him.
That's
he resisted them though.
Yeah, well.
Yeah,
to the point where he didn't fight him. I mean,
he didn't.
And
right,
reached in his pocket, and he kind of like battered his pockets, but he was for the most part compliant.
Yeah, and they still shot him.
And they still shot him and drove away in the car.
Yeah.
That's why I said, don't not get in the trunks and not go on nobody. We're gonna do it right here. Make a mess. We're gonna make a mess right here.
Yeah, but most of the places, these guys, a lot of states, they get released on murder charges anyway. You know what I'm saying? They give them bail. California won't hold them. New York won't hold them.
Nope.
Yeah.
Chicago.
They won't hold them.
Then they'll tell you about overcrowding and you get suspended sentences.
Right. Yeah. So, and they let them right back on the street. And you got this same dude, man, I'm in for a murder charge and I'm back on the street. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to murder somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You might as well wrap up another charge. You know what I'm saying?
Fortunately, you're absolutely right.
So,
yeah, and that's why you don't turn guns in.
No. Don't turn them in. If you buy them, keep them. Get trained to use them. Yep. And always stay ready. Keep it on your side. Keep it within 1 arm's length distance away from you. Doesn't matter if you're at home. Not at work, but in your car.
In certain work situations, I understand that.
Yeah, yeah. Certain work environments don't allow guns,
Mhm.
so don't jeopardize your livelihood for a self protection. Carry a knife.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then
Carry other things.
most places don't say anything about knives.
And the funny thing is, I'm gonna give you a little caveat. Maybe you guys fill in the blanks. Most places that don't have, they don't allow the employees to carry guns have security, and if security's armed, there are always guns on facilities.
Security is horrible,
Yeah, but they have
horrible.
guns.
I have witnessed
Mhm.
some
But they have
security
guns,
at a
right?
place where I frequently go to. I have witnessed and watched them do an active shooter exercise, and I laughed my ass off. I went to the head guy and said, "You guys need to do this, and do this,"
Mm-hmm.
and they still didn't do it. And I was like, "We're gonna have to have an event in order for it to happen."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's what's gonna have to happen.
But
Uh,
I'm sure a few people out there got me. It's like when I used to train recruits and we go on our first domestic, I always tell them there's always weapons in the house. And they're looking around and I'm like, there's always a weapon, whether it's a pen or a knife.
Yeah.
Stay out of the kitchen, right? Things like that.
Be your
What
cell
I'm
phone.
saying to you right now
Yeah.
is that your workplace, if the security's armed, there's always guns.
Yeah, I would prefer to knock the security out, take the firearm, and work it myself.
You
But-
may not have to. You may not have to knock them out. There may be
Yeah.
a gun available when you run through that hall the wrong way. There's a gun.
all
Hey,
of
man,
them
I'm
are
sorry.
all of them out of shape. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
keeping
So
it
it's
real, bro.
so it's not. It's like what are you doing? You know
I
what I'm
have the
saying?
same mindset when I go to the courthouses.
So my philosophy is, if I'm caught into an environment, I'm not the courthouse. If I'm not
I have the same
armed
mentality,
in
bro.
that environment, I am
Mhm.
getting the hell out of there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
But
I am not.
sometimes you may, on my way out, I may have to do something to get out. And if that's the case,
Right.
I'd rather be armed. And if
I'd rather be armed too, but if I'm close to the active shooter and I'm always gonna have a knife on me, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mhm.
And because I'm not gonna die like a punk. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not going out in the fetal position, crying like a little
No, and
girl.
I'm not. One of the things I used to tell my guys, I'm not going to be the guy on the radio, and my last transmission is help.
Right.
You'll never hear from me. You'll never
Right.
hear from me. So
Yeah.
that was one of the things I wanted to ask ID about. He sent me this video, and it was another country. I don't know where. I'm not gonna blame.
Probably
a lot of
Brazil.
places. And the guy's at a playground, and he's going around swiping at people with a knife, and he jigs a few
Oh, wow.
people. Right, it's crazy. So I asked him. I said, would you shoot this guy because he's doing this to strangers? So
Yes.
he added, if his kids were there. I said, nope, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If they're attacking strangers, this dude's attacking strangers, would you shoot him? And
Mhm.
that's a tough question.
Yeah. I'll shoot him.
Right.
It's no question for me.
See? Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but if you,
Yeah.
all right,
He'll get domed.
we have to understand
Yeah.
everyone is not at that level.
Right.
Follow me? So you have
Yeah.
to understand your skill set and what level it takes for you to engage.
Right.
And I mean, the dude is actively stabbing people.
Right.
You know?
You got to stop it. You got to stop it.
Unfortunately, my
Yeah.
dumb ass would probably run up on him and contact you because I'm not. He's around multiple people. I know me. I'll be like, nah, mind your business. And next thing you know, I got him on the head and I'm putting that bullet right there.
Yeah, but you're gonna get his DNA all on your
It don't
face
matter.
and his
It's
mouth.
It
Yeah.
don't matter. It's over.
Yeah.
You just talk about stabbing
might-
somebody, bro.
He might have hepatitis. You know,
You
what I'm
just
saying?
talk about using a knife. that is a psychopath right there. Oh, I got a knife. Ah! I got
Yeah.
bullets. At least a bullet
Yeah.
is over here.
Stabbing a person is not easy. You have
Nope.
to be very violent with it.
Mhm.
And
But what
so-
I'm saying is, when you talking about multiple people moving around, you never know. What
yeah. You have to be precision with your shot. You got to be accurate.
That's what
So you got to
and
close.
That's what
You
I
got to
kept
close the
pushing with him.
distance.
Yep.
You got to close the
Yep.
distance.
And that's what I
Yeah.
kept pushing with him. Like,
Yeah.
in order to get involved with that, you got to get close. Because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll show you the video. He sent it to me, and there's people running around. There's children.
Oh.
There's, older folks. They're at a playground,
Mhm.
and this dude
So-
goes bananas.
Yeah, the average person would
See?
not shoot, which
Exactly.
is true. What did he say?
He said he would.
He would.
Yep. He said he would
Would
engage. He said first like he said, he put it in there that if my kids and my family were there.
But you said take
I-
your
I
family
take
and
your
kids
family
out.
You walking by the park like you at the park, you doing your power walking, and as you walking by, you look over and you see this maniac stab,
Just
and literally
stabbing
you can see
people.
the knife in the dude's hand.
Mm-hmm.
Now what? That's what I said. I
Yeah.
know me. I'll be like, mind your business. It ain't nothing to do with you. And next thing I know,
Right.
it's like you said,
You
there's
come-
DNA all over.
You
my
come
shirt.
up on this blind side and you're doming.
Mhm.
That's all you do.
Exactly.
Put it down.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, you know this is a crime happening. And there's no
Mhm.
gray area. There's no, oh, he was only trying to play with them. Nah.
Right.
Nothing like that.
Right.
This is straight up, this dude is trying to hurt people. He's actively stabbing people. He's he sliced one guy. One guy engaged him with a book bag. It looked like a knapsack. He was
But
swinging.
nobody helped the guy when the guy was engaging. Everybody just standing back. Oh,
Everybody ran
and
there was-
videotape.
And there was
videotape.
men. One dude ran on top of one of the little playground apparatus, like this.
You
slide
serious?
board. Yeah, bro. That's what it's bad. The guy
Oh,
ran
my
up the
God.
slide to get away from this guy. Now, mind you, in a knife fight, I understand about putting objects in between you and the person.
You put 3 guys on a guy with a knife fight, and if it's one guy, you can get in.
But I will tell you this: you're gonna get cut.
You're gonna
Just
get cut.
automatically say
Yeah,
to
you're
yourself,
gonna get cut.
But
Yeah.
you get in there and you fuck him up.
Yeah, you gotta get close and get control of that weapon and stab
You
him
got
with
to
it.
get in
So-
there and you gotta, but just like I told you, get right
Yeah.
on, remember?
But if you got the equalizer though, you can, like I said, if you can come up on his blind side, this doming,
Mhm.
put 6 rounds into him and work it up to his forehead.
Right. But as the
You know what I'm
thing,
saying?
from the video point of view, it was probably in our area that we always teach about 15 yards.
Yeah,
away.
15. Yeah.
So you got to get closer than that because
Yeah, you gotta get-
people were
yeah, you
running
gotta
in
get very
between the
close.
cameraman. So
Oh,
if you
they
the
were.
cameraman and
Jesus
you decide to
Christ.
shoot right, and then, whoop, Johnny runs right in front of you,
Yeah.
or the guy with the
Or a
book bag
pregnant
runs in front of
lady.
you,
That's
and I was
all
like,
you need. A pregnant lady.
Yes,
Right. Ugh.
yes. Now you got 2 for
I don't
one.
know if I can live with myself after that one.
I know
You know what I'm
did a
saying?
2 for 1 there, buddy.
Yeah, that'd be hard right
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I was asking him because he, again, people have not been in under stress situations. I applaud the effort and the gallantry, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you gotta testify in court or you gotta at least give a statement. And
Yeah.
that's where the proverbial hits the fan. That's when
But you got to say, okay, when you see it, you got to say, you got to just do it. Then if you see something like that happening, if you do it, you got to just be, you got to just hope and pray that the justice system
right.
looks on your side as you're a hero.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
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 But again, depending on where you are, all that stuff plays into it. But at the same time, you have to
Yeah,
deal
definitely.
with the situation at hand right now. Right.
Mhm. Then worry about the
again,
consequences later.
Right. And again,
Yeah.
when you become a veteran of violence, then you understand, okay, and I'm not just putting anybody down and saying that you won't do this or you shouldn't do that. That's not the key. The key is your skill set and your
Mhm.
abilities. Because if you think firing from 15 yards away with moving people away is easy, you're sadly mistaken.
Right.
That's not an easy shot. A 15
No.
yard shot by itself, that's not a hard shot. But when you got
No. People running
civilians
around.
and innocents running in between
Yeah.
you and the bad guy,
Yeah. It's going to cause you to
you don't know what
hesitate.
their actions are going to be.
Yeah.
And if you've
Yeah.
never been there, you don't understand about closing that distance and running up on this fool where he's got a knife. I mean,
Right.
the dude he's violent. He's actively being violent right now.
And you got to remember,
The opposite
guys,
of what everybody else is doing.
you shooting that person, you can't hit them with one shot. They're not going to go down like the movies. It's not like the
Especially if
movies.
you got one of these. Another one. Maybe we use this for another topic another day. A lot of these guys are pushing these 3-inch guns, right? Everybody will go into these little micro guns, and they're using ammunition that was rated with a 4-inch or 5-inch barrel, and you're not getting the same oomph out of those bullets. So there's a certain bullets, and I don't search all this end user. I'm an end user, like you say. I'll just keep shooting until the shit works. But a lot of these dudes don't realize that one shot stop is not there anymore. They
No.
were barely there with a 4.5 inch barrel.
It's
That's why the
yes.
Glock 19 is was it like 425? That's
Right.
like at the end. The what's that one? The Beretta is almost 5 inches.
Mm-hmm.
The original 1911 is 5 inches.
Trying to
The
get the
full
feet
size.
per second.
Right.
Anything over 1,000. Right.
Now these guys are getting these 3-inch barrel guns, and these little, and some of them even smaller than 3 inches.
Yeah. You're not getting the feet per second.
That is contact distant pistol if you want it to be effective.
Right. Yeah.
But that's what we're looking at now. I see a lot of these. I'm like, bro, first off, I can't get my hand on the damn grip, right? I got real hands. I don't have baby hands. I got real hands. So the grip I only get 2 fingers on it. That's not good for me. That's not good.
Right.
I gotta
Yeah, he got monsters hands.
Exactly.
He's got Al's got the kung fu grip. I remember
the old G.I. Joe. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. See, but 15-yard shot, 25-yard shot, it can be done. That's not my point. My point is now put people running in between you and the 15 yards. And
that's what he's talking about. He's talking about taking a chaotic situation
Yep.
and putting people in between you and the target.
Randomly.
And that makes a difference. So that's why you got to close the gap. It's not making the shot at 15 to 25 yards. Everybody can do that.
I know I'm good.
We know people can do it because we've seen a kid do it and dropped an active shooter that was beyond 25 yards. So, but it's putting people in between that you don't want to shoot. Like, for instance, a pregnant lady, you know what I'm saying? And you crack that shot off and she just comes in and you dome her. You know what I'm saying?
She just turned.
And now
you thought she was
got to live with
still,
yourself.
She just turned to her right, walks right into the bullet.
Right. They will do it.
Yeah.
They will do it. People don't think.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
And when they see you, again, this is another one. They're
going to think you're another active shooter.
You draw a gun, even though you're pointing at a menace. You draw a gun and you're pointing at them. That adds more excitement in the game. I've seen
because now they thinking now it's a guy with a gun out here and a guy with a knife. So we got 2 terrorists out here that's running havoc until you go out and put that guy down. But by that time, the 911 operator just got your description with that gun.
Right.
And so now what you got to do, you got to either leave that scene and reholster, then come back like this. Because you don't want to be standing out there when they get there. You know what I'm saying? Because when they get out there,
holding a gun, pointing a gun at anybody when the police show up.
Because when they get out there, they're gonna bring those patrol rifles out and they're gonna dome you.
Did you see the one with a guy
from a distance
in California, San Ysidro?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, dude, that one, crazy man. In a car, they call it a trolley, and it's like four cars on this train, and he's got a gun, and the people call the police. Then the police show up, like you said. The guy gets a patrol rifle out, goes in. This dude points the gun at him. The officers unload, drop him off. The video. This guy had a 177 pellet gun, CO2 pellet gun.
It's suicide by a cop.
Yeah. I would imagine, but he was nutty, and they got the video of him in the train. He's got the gun pointed at the camera in the train, so he knew what he was doing. Like you said,
he was trying to get the cops to kill him, and they did. They did. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of that going on,
right? And that is the same thing, like what you just mentioned. As a good guy, you got to take that in consideration. These dudes showed up. The officers showed up on the scene. Lickety split. So they got there, and when they got there, the guy was still actively
doing his thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you get involved in the case that we were talking about with this knife wielding nut job, you take them down, and you're standing there, in this kind
like that. Yeah. You take it down too. You next.
Yep.
You next.
Show up. So they're probably shooting you as they get out the car.
Right. You next.
And that's why you have to train the same thing that WK just said in reference to he trains every day. You have to train bang 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 and holster
to reholster
and conceal.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And step away from the scene if you have to, until they get on scene, then turn yourself in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You can.
Yeah. But you don't stand there and be on the scene with that gun in your hand, because and seeing police are not like what me and Al just said. If the people are running around, they will still take the shot. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different with them. You know what I'm saying? If they hit other people involved, they really don't care.
The government pays for that.
Take you down.
The government gonna pay for that.
Right. So, yeah, this got to be very careful in active shooter scenarios. You know, maybe we'll do a show on that.
The mindset, that's why I said it when I was bringing up the mindset.
Look like I lost out. I knew I was gonna lose. Let's see if he comes back. There he is. So now we lost each other.
Oh man, we're back.
Yeah, the stream's getting crazy. So we're gonna go ahead and end it out.
Hey, look, it flipped us on the opposite side again.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching the show. Thank you for supporting the show. And like, share, and subscribe on Rumble, please, for the Two Alphas Talk. Go to the search bar, search for the Two Alphas Talk, and subscribe to that channel. We're trying to build that channel up. We see a bunch of you guys are already subscribing to it, so thank you for doing it. And we'll see you guys in the range, I guess.
Hey, Long Dread.
Hey, Long Dread. Yeah, we ending the show, my man.
Yeah.
All
Happy
right.
Father's Day, bro.
Yep. All that good stuff. All right. We'll see you guys. Got anything, Al?
That's it. Happy Father's Day, guys. Get out to the range.
I need to change the music, huh? There you go. Now we can end the show. We gotta have the show end the music before we get in the show.
There you go. We're professionals here.
Right. All right, guys. See you in the range.
Take care.